Peace, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Silver Tongue Gorillas. And today I'm going to be answering a question. All right. The question is this. All right. It's a long term relationship question. What should I do if my woman starts making more money than me or has a rise in status? Okay. Now, for many individuals, this situation lands you in a divorce. Okay. Right. So, it's a legitimate concern. If you're in a long-term relationship and you want to preserve that long-term relationship, then obviously her getting a raise financially or in status or both is something to be concerned about, okay? Now, I thought about this question. What we got to understand is this. A bug just flew by me. What we got to understand is this, first and foremost. MGTOW means men going their own way. And inside of that, there's a component that is inherently about freedom. So you and the woman that you are dealing with, your goal should be freedom. All right. What is freedom? Freedom is being able to, first and foremost, do what it is that you want to do. Okay. And it's also not having to rely on a raise in status or a raise in money in order to support your liabilities, basically, right? It doesn't take that much money to live. So if making more money is going to be to buy more things, to put yourself in more debt, to get a bigger house, all right, this type of stuff is going to be counterproductive to you as a MGTOW man trying to get off the plantation, so to speak. So make sure that this raise in status and money is focused and centered on you two being liberated. Now, the first thing, I got about 3 or 4 things here, okay? The first thing that you don't want to do if your woman gets a raise in status or in finances, the first thing that you do not want to do, you do not want to emasculate yourself. You need to stay in your frame, okay? What are some ways that you would emasculate yourself? If your woman decides to get a job or take a position that makes more money and therefore requires you to do extra and not do what it is that you want to do, then guess what? That's not you going your own way, okay? That's you putting yourself in a position where she is now taking on responsibilities, but she doesn't want to pay for the responsibilities that she is taking on. Understand that your wife is never really going to want to support you. He's very rarely gonna want to be with a stay-at-home father. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? When I say support, I mean you have a fixed position. I'm not saying that she's not willing to support you short term, 9 months, a year, while you're trying to get things going, right? When I say get things going, I mean you may be starting a business, or you could just be in a place in your life where, you're trying to get things going financially, you trying to get a rise in your status, or, you putting things together, you putting your plan together, all right? So at the end of the day, y'all like my hat? My shit is, so I got it a long time ago. It's fading out and all of that, but it's good though. But at the end of the day, yeah, so listen, stay in your masculine frame. Do not emasculate yourself. The first thing you don't want to do is take on her roles or responsibilities. If her raise means more work, plus and let me see, if her raise means more work and thus more time away from home, she needs to consider if the raise will make sense, since she will have to pay for the extra expenses of a housekeeper or any other home service provider. Okay? To be the boss, it costs. All right? So at the end of the day, if she, based off the laws of nature, gentlemen, you need to be out hunting. You need to be out conquering. You need to be going your own way. All right. Now, when we look at, once again on this channel, when we look at the pimp mindset, okay, the pimp doesn't take on roles and responsibilities of the hoe in order to get money. All right. So at the end of the day, also what you got to understand is that if your woman got a raise, that means you got a raise. It ain't about you taking on the roles and responsibilities. If she got a raise, but you didn't get a raise, meaning that if that money didn't go in the bank account and you have access to that money too, this is what we call financial abuse based on Serena Williams' definition. So you should have access to the money that she is making, and you should still be the decision maker on the finances, especially if you have a thorough understanding of finances. Now, what's one of the primary things you have to worry about if your woman gets a raise? You have to worry about her being around dominant men, being imprinted by those men. All right. So ultimately what you are dealing with is you are dealing with individual that can be influenced and molded by powerful individuals. Okay. This is why you keep your masculine frame. This is the affirmative. Saying don't emasculate yourself is not really saying nothing, but it needs to be said. But the positive way is saying don't emasculate yourself. It's saying you need to be in your masculine frame at all times. Now, once again, the second thing that I want to say is this, gentlemen, your wife, and you know, should not be taking a raise or a promotion without you having a conversation about the first thing I talked about. As a man, being a leader of your family, if you got a raise or a promotion, or there was the potential there for that, you would need to sit down and talk to your wife about how this may impact your life. All right. So as a man, if your woman was in that situation, y'all would need to sit down and talk about how that would impact the family's life, vice versa. That's the second thing that should have been first, but it came second in my thoughts, so I left it second. All right. This is a conversation that you need to have with your woman. See, if you sit down and you look at the numbers and you look at the housekeeping and you look at all the things that would have to be paid for, see, like a big part of you having an imprint on your woman is not trying to go in and repair. It's about being preventative. It's about exerting your dominance off the gate. In order for you to exert your dominance, you have to be very clear that you are MGTOW. You got to be very clear that you are a leader. You have to be very clear that you are a leader, that you are going somewhere, okay? And you have something that you want to do. Remember, she's always going to want to be in somebody's world. Make sure it's your world, all right? Now, third, what are you doing? We talking about being a leader. Are you picking boogers, flicking them in the wind, or are you on your purpose like you should be? And if you are, you know what I mean, then keep going. If you're not on your purpose, step your game up, dogs. Step your game up. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. Um, I never, I love women. So at the end of the day, that's always been a motivational force for me to do shit. You know what I mean? Uh, so at the end of the day, it's not the only motivation, but it is a one of the motivations. So step your game up, get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? And if you comfortable and stuck in your ways and you making less, that's not where you want to be. Okay. Um, if you already on your grind, like I said, keep grinding. And then the fourth thing that I want to say, which is how I started, is that listen, I've been on this journey of personal growth for a long time now. And one of the words that I hear people use all the time is freedom, peace, happiness, prosperity. These are words that I hear people use all the time. You know, if you decide to be MGTOW, your ultimate goal is what? Freedom. This is one of your ultimate goals. All right. Therefore, inside your world, inside your frame, you guys are not looking at money, and you're not moving around the way that you move. You're not moving around in life to keep up with the status quo. You're not moving around in life to go into deeper debt, to impress a bunch of people, and to say, hey, look, I look like I got money, but I don't really have no money. You know what I mean? You in this to really have money. And if you look like you got money, that's a bonus. But you in it to really have money. All right. So, you know, because this is ultimately what happens a lot of times is obviously if your woman is making more money than you, she could think that she's better than you, right? And she can think that she could deal with you in a certain way. But all of that's superficial, because at the end of the day, the goal is, the question becomes, what are you guys trying to accomplish together? See, sometimes in relationships, people get stagnant, and therefore we are looking and we are reaching for something, and so making more money can seem like a good thing, but when you really look at it, all money is not good money, right? And if you are going your own way, right, you have the ability to say, nah, I don't think that you taking that raise would be best for our family. I think that all the expenses and things that we would have to pick up would basically put me in a compromising position. Look, sometimes, gentlemen, you have to be okay with telling your woman no. You have to be okay with that. You can't be a yes man. You can't say yes to everything. You have to look at everything from the standpoint of your own personal freedom. And guess what's going to really affect your freedom is if y'all have to get a divorce. Now, usually before a woman allows herself to be imprinted by other men, she gives you a chance to tell her, no, you're not going over there. You're not doing that. All right. Mate guarding is important. So don't feel bad about mate guarding. But this is bigger than mate guarding. This is bigger than saying no, because you don't want to stop her liberation with the female liberation movement. It's saying no because sometimes you've had to say no to yourself to preserve the relationship and continue to move forward. I feel like the main problem that people have in relationships right now, though, is that their relationship is built on enslavement. Their relationship is built on materialism, not from the standpoint of being prosperous, not from the standpoint of having investment properties and making passive income. I mean, it's materialistic from the standpoint of buying too many liabilities and wanting to have everything that they want to have in life right now. No delayed gratification. You know, you look at these dating shows and things of that nature, and there's women saying they got a $600 credit card for makeup. You know what I mean? That's not necessary. All right. Any woman like that, you're going to be worried about just making enough money to keep up with her makeup habits. You know, $600 that's how much my mortgage was. You know what I mean? And I know you can't get, I mean, that's rent, you know, so in some places, if not $400 over, that's like the median rent in America, like $1,000. So her makeup credit card can be maxed out at how much it costs for a month of rent. So this is why you want to look at red flags. This is why you want to deal with things before they happen, right? If you get with a woman, a red flag is her being materialistic, because ultimately y'all in two different games. You know, you're going to be trying to please her, so you're going to be a slave to her pleasure, and you're never going to get out. And that's why I say this is MGTOW advice. It's centered around freedom. It's centered around going your own way and not putting yourself in a position where you cannot go your own way. So anyways, man, like I said, I know this is something important that people deal with sometime in relationships where their woman has success. And I do see women get full of themselves when this happens. But there are things you could do before it even gets to that point in order to stop that from happening. All right. And when you put certain propositions on the table, like if this, then this, if that, then this, sometimes she'll say no before you, but you gotta be, one of the things that can mess you up here is this idea of female liberation. This can mess you up because you'll be sitting back thinking like, I don't want to ruin her potential. I don't want to stop her from being liberated. All right. If her making more money, if you busting your ass, you working 40 hours a week, you know, you doing your thing, and her making more money means that now the indoctrination camps are raising the children. It's not worth it. If this means that y'all getting ready to try to get a house for $500,000, and if one of y'all, and if you and your lady are living based on two incomes, you not living right. You know, if both of y'all got a job, y'all should only be living off of one person's income, and the other person's income should strictly be used to help you guys move forward and get off the quote unquote plantation. All right. If y'all not moving like that, ultimately you're going to end up in problems, because unfortunately this enslavement is self-induced. You guys are enslaving yourselves. And whenever people start enslaving themselves and indebting themselves too much, they turn around and that whole thing becomes a blame game. Like, you're the reason why we're in debt. No, you're the reason why we're in debt. I wouldn't have to do all this fucking work if da 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 da. You see, all right. You know, it's crazy when you work in a house, when you live in a household where you have two incomes, and if everything stopped working out for a month or two, these people will be getting evicted in a two-income household. That's craziness. So at the end of the day, gentlemen, like I'm saying, if your woman is gonna be making, if she's looking at the possibility of making more money, don't be afraid to say no to the money, because ultimately, you as a man sitting back analyzing the situation, if you looking at it and you looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, you know, I'm gonna live off my woman, 9 times out of 10 she going up, she gonna leave you. All right, or she gonna do a lot of experimenting to see if it's something better out there than what you offering to try to leave you. So don't think as a man that as a man going your own way, you should never look at living off of anybody. All right, you do have what they call OPM, other people's money, but that's not you living off other people. That's you learning how to use the resources of other people in order to give them a return on their investment and also get something out of the deal yourself. If you're an investor and somebody give you $1 million, right? You take that $1 million, you make that $1 million make 10 million, and you take 1% of that, you just came up, all right, from using other people's money. You didn't use your $1 million to invest, you used their $1 million to invest. All right, I meant to say, if you're a business owner, or if you got a business mindset, sometimes you need most of the time you need other people's money, you need other people's contacts, you need other people's brain power in order to bring things to fruition. But that's completely different than you laying around following your woman and what she say. Oh, I got a job here, we gonna move here. We not moving nowhere that I don't want to move for you. That's not what we doing. So this, once again, is the advice that I would give you, gentlemen. I hope this helps you out wherever you are in your journey. If you have any more questions, you can leave a comment below, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, also too, like I said, with me, my consultations, I'm an astrologer. I also deal with feng shui. So I deal with the energy inside your home and around your home to bring you prosperity. And I also deal with you and the person that you like, y'all zodiac sign, to see the potential energies that lie in that relationship. So if you are serious, you don't have to be serious. If you feel like you want to do deeper investigations into a relationship, feel free to reach out to me. The email address is silvertonguegorillas at gmail.com. Okay, and I'll be more than happy to do that research for you, figure out what's going on with the energies between you and this person, and yeah, so just let me know. Anywho's, man, thank y'all for watching another video, and I'll be back in here with more. Peace.